Better Man, a biopic about Robbie Williams. This movie has a fundamental problem, being that they don't know who their core audience is. This movie made about $110,000 and the budget was $110 million. It's cited to be one of the biggest flops in cinema history. Better Man did this because it doesn't know what its audience is. It's a movie about Robbie Williams, and the audience is mainly American, where the cinema is, and yet nobody knows who he is, and the people who do know who he is are older people. But the movie isn't marketed to an older audience, it's marketed towards a newer audience of viewers, trying to get them to view this movie. And the whole selling point is that Robbie Williams appears as a CGI ape, but inclusion of this aspect of the movie alienates that older audience that know and maybe even love him. It's clear that they were trying to go for a newer audience with the inclusion of Robbie Williams appearing as a CGI ape, but the decision didn't make any sense. The inclusion of it was never explained, and you don't even get a clear view of who even Robbie Williams is. This movie was a disaster, and I think it never should have been made. It never should have been greenlit. Nobody cares who Robbie Williams is. Biopics as a whole are targeted towards their core audience of listeners. So, in this aspect, listeners, because he makes music. But nobody is going to watch a movie about Robbie Williams. And so they tried to, I assume the pitch was like, hey, you probably don't have enough people who want to watch this. And he's like, okay, but if we make me a CGI ape, then people are going to go watch it. And people still didn't go watch it. I think biopics are self-serving bullshit for famous people. It's famous people playing famous people, and they're always the victim. We always see the main person is the victim, but in this scenario, we never see like the characters around him, how they're influenced, and the other sides of the stories. I always think while watching biopics that the other side is probably right, and the viewer, or like the story that we're getting from the famous person, is probably biased extremely. Overall, I think Better Man never should have been made, never should have been greenlit. Biopics are a dying breed of movies, and I think they should die out. There's no need for them, especially with the upcoming Timothée Chalamet, A Complete Unknown. I'm not excited for it. I'm not going to watch it. I hope it flops. It's not going to flop because it has Timothée Chalamet, but I mean, biopics are just a complete waste of time, and I think they should die.